Hello, folks. I'm traveling from Taos to Lockport. I want to talk about something, and this is not that translation automation. Translation automation matters enormously still, but it's largely a solved problem. And if this is something you're looking at in 2026, well, you know where we are. Speak to the team, book a demo, we'll show you how it works for a bunch of global companies, and you'll get a quote and get it implemented for you. The frontier has moved, and that's what I actually want to talk about. You know, a year ago, the promise of AI was automating tasks like translation. And you still find companies calling themselves AI first for exactly that. They would automate, prospect research or coding or translation or writing docs. But humans in this case are still on the critical path. They just skip the steps handled by AI, that's it. AI is still a tool. And today I'd argue that the promise is different. The promise is that AI will change the way we work. With enough tasks are automated, they don't even need the human to kick them off. The bottleneck shifts, and we as humans step up to a completely different set of things. So I tried it. About a month ago, I installed something called Agentic Engineering Harness on my laptop. It took about 2 weeks to do that, configuring it, and then I built a pilot. Single page application with a front end and back end with enough design to make style and user experience matter. Packaged in a container to run anywhere with automated build and tasks and all the laundry list. So it took 2 hours. I didn't write code, I didn't read code. What I was doing these 2 hours, well, I read specifications, um, approved decisions, signed off at a very specific gates which I care about. Maybe if I wouldn't be such a control freak, it would be 15 minutes, but still. So, more interesting question, what was AI doing for those 2 hours? Was it writing code? Maybe? Well, yes, 5 to 10 minutes. In the rest, AI was writing specifications, design documents, running tests, finding errors, fixing the errors, figuring out why, all the tests are passed, but I'm, as a human being, not happy with the outcomes. And a lot of it actually ran without me at all. I would drop a request, and AI would do some things in the background and come to me with a pull request. So it didn't need me to really start it. It needed me to sign off. And I think you can see the parallel with the localization. Just as coding is a small part of the engineering, translation is just a small part of localization. And both used to be the bottleneck, both still have huge industries built around them, and both are or can be automated. And I think the hard part is not the verifiable part. The hard part is taste, style, user experience, something which needs you as a human person to define. So I think the real question is what new tasks emerge and how we rethink our jobs around them. And mostly those are things which you don't even really think as of tasks today. Review, approval, or even the moment when your team brings you something really good and you still find a way to make it better. And today that may be a small joyful part of your job. You know, silver lining. But tomorrow it could be the whole job. And one more thing, you know, I have a pile of engineering tools on my laptop, integrated developer environments, a couple of them, editors, task trackers, project management, documentation, and a bunch of other stuff. And I used none of them. For me, the interface was Cloud Code. I did use some software, and AI did use some software, but this software mostly was just generated on a whim when it was needed. If you organize localization same way, well, you won't touch your TMS, TBMS, CAT, translation memory, terminology management system, workflow manager, or whatever. And that's something really interesting to think about. Although I think there is a very specific kind of software which is still needed, but let's save that for the conference. So, see you at Lockworld. Thanks. Safe travels.